Art lovers, it is hot in the city today, and I am hot-footing it from Tate Modern, where I've just seen the Capturing the Moment exhibition, down to White Cube in Bermondsey for my second exhibition of the day, and I'm excited about this one. And it's going to be displaying some new work by that post-war German Master Anselm Kiefer, now in his 70s. I fell in love with Kiefer back at that 2014 epic show at the Royal Academy. I remember huge paintings, photography, some of it quite controversial, and heavy themes about German post-war history and the place of art. It's always exciting to see new art by contemporary masters, and so I can't wait to see this. It's called Finnegan's Wake, so it's working in some way in relation to the rather impenetrable James Joyce novel, which I confess I've never read. But this is Anselm Kiefer, so I'm expecting big, dark, heavy, probably the opposite of this 30-degree glorious sunshine. Always love coming to the White Cube Bermondsey. I prefer it in lots of ways to the White Cube Mason's Yard. It's just got more space, it's bigger, it's like the mothership of the White Cube Empire. And this is actually the third in a massive epic trilogy of works by Kiefer here at White Cube. Yeah, and I can't wait to go in and see what it's like. So come and join me as we head inside White Cube to explore Finnegan's Wake by Anselm Kiefer. Can't wait.
I will say I'm not going to narrate the whole show because I want the works to speak for themselves, but suffice to say it's always incredible when a gallery space that you know well has been totally transformed beyond recognition. There's a kind of magical wonder to this, and I felt totally disorientated as I entered the White Cube space and was projected into this sort of slightly lit tunnel, which contained a load of objects which form a small part apparently of Kiefer's own massive store, which is over 1 kilometre long. Some of these objects are part of works, some of them are waiting to be used, some of them you will recognise as maybe cast-offs from works that are familiar to you, and some will become familiar from the exhibition that you're about to see. And off this tunnel, rich of objects, are 4 gallery spaces. 3 of them, like this one, contain installations and paintings, and they are interspersed with quotes on the walls from Finnegan's Wake. One of the big themes about Finnegan's Wake is ends and beginnings, destruction and rebirth, and that's very much like a theme of this exhibition as well. It's almost like a visual representation to accompany the text of Finnegan's Wake. You're confronted with vast paintings like this astonishing painting, which draw you in. And I would say the store, if you like, of objects outside that you've just seen, and then the finished works provide really nice counterpoint. You get to be in the artist's head, imagining Kiefer as he's observing these objects, and then you get to see how some of these objects are used in the finished works. So that worked really well. I'm not going to say any more because I want you to sit back and enjoy the paintings and the installations, and I'll see you when I come out of the show. Remember that the best paintings, by the way, come last.
Well, our lovers, I hope that gave you a sense of the Anselm Kiefer show at White Cube Bermondsey. I'm shaking actually with the thrill of being in that exhibition. Hands down, it's one of the highlights of the year so far for me. As I said before going in, this is the third of a trilogy of works at White Cube, and in my opinion, it's the best. It has so many different aspects of Kiefer's mature practice, the installations, the metaphors that he constantly cycles back to of his birth in 1945 in a bombed out Germany. And in fact, while he was in hospital being born, his family home was bombed. And you see that in the huge gallery space with rubble. You also see the beauty, and so the installations, they make full use of the gallery space. The paintings themselves, some of them are absolutely beautiful, lots of them are intriguing. My favourites were the Monet-esque water and forest pictures. One of them I think was called Liffey. These were astounding paintings, so beautiful with the gold to allow a sort of sense of light into the greens and the browns and the thick paint. These were wonderful works, and they had a really distinctive smell in that gallery, which I kept returning to again and again. And then this vast painting of seemingly helpless people, shoes hanging from the top, and a sort of seeming like volcano or explosion in the sky. And obviously this could well be a reference to Kiefer's own past, or it could be a reference to the current war in Ukraine, which he has commented on quite a bit in interviews. The bubble, by the way, is really interesting because for Kiefer it's not a destructive force, it's a new beginning, again referring back to his childhood. And then there's the astonishing selection of work from his studio, which you are transported in from the light of the street outside, or the square outside the gallery, into this crazy world of different objects, some of which you might recognize from other pieces, some of which become familiar from the works that are on show here. And there's so much to see. Kiefer calls this his arsenal. Things he's created, things he's in the process of creating, things that are finished, things which are unfinished. It's just a fantastic immersive experience, and they tower above you and you're constantly being absorbed by them. It reminded me a bit of the Mike Nelson first installation in the Mike Nelson show at South Bank as well. So this was just a wonderful piece of work. There's influence here. Kiefer calls himself a neo-expressionist, and obviously a post-impressionist. Van Gogh is a big influence on him, as you saw through the towering sunflowers which loom up above you. There are so many other works as well that I can't mention everything. But if you're a Kiefer fan, if you're a fan of an artist at the top of his game making really meaningful work, then you absolutely must come along. If you like what you saw, you must come along as well. I would give this a 9.5 out of 10, and the only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is for personal reasons. I've not read Finnegan's Wake, although after this I'll try my hardest to read it again. And so I missed some of the allusions and some of the links, but then Kiefer himself has said that he took him a lifetime to read this work. It's just wonderful to see an artist in his maturity producing work for this gallery space in London. It's on until the August the 20th. It's free. Will I be back? Many times, yes. Every time I'm down in that area of London, probably Goldsmiths, Tate, I will definitely head back to be immersed in that world. It's a great show, and I think it's going to be one of the highlights of the year for me personally, being a big Kiefer fan. Don't forget to subscribe to the Art Vlog, hit that notification bell, and most importantly, get out there and explore and support this incredibly rich UK art scene. See you next time.